I was never one to believe in destiny, nor did I think I would ever be called upon to do something of this magnitude. Life, for me, had always been carefully crafted by the circumstances into which I was born. Wealth, privilege, and a certain kind of notoriety followed me from the day I was born. But even I couldn't have anticipated what would unfold in those final moments, alone with Pope Francis in the cold, quiet halls of the Vatican. As I walked down the long, white corridors, the faint echo of my footsteps on the marble floor seemed to amplify the weight in the air. The Vatican, an institution of great power, both spiritual and temporal, had always been a place of mystique and secrecy. And though I had heard stories and read accounts of its inner workings, of the intrigues, the power struggles, and the shadowy politics that shaped its path, I had no idea that I would soon be swept up in the storm of truth that would unearth the most well-guarded secrets of all. It was well past midnight when I arrived, the long and exhausting day fading behind me. I had heard the rumors for weeks that the Pope's health had been deteriorating rapidly. The once vibrant man who had taken on the mantle of Pope with a refreshing humility and willingness to challenge the status quo, now seemed a shadow of himself. I'd been invited here under mysterious circumstances. My father, in his own enigmatic way, had insisted I attend this meeting, knowing full well that it would be something that could change the course of history. As I stood at the door to the Pope's private study, my heart raced. The doors opened slowly, revealing the dim light of the room. Inside, the Pope was sitting in a high-backed chair by the window, his frail form barely visible in the soft glow of the candlelight. His face, once strong and resolute, now seemed drawn and weary. But his eyes, those piercing eyes, still held an unsettling intensity.
"Baron,"
he said softly, his voice hoarse but steady.
"I knew you would come. The time has arrived for the truth to be spoken."
I nodded, not fully understanding the weight of his words. "Your Holiness," I began, unsure of how to approach him.
"You are here because you need to hear what I have to say. It's the only way the world will ever understand."
He motioned for me to sit, and I hesitated for a moment before taking a seat across from him. There was a heavy silence between us, one that stretched far beyond the ticking of the clock in the corner. I could feel the tension, the weight of impending revelations that threatened to unravel everything I thought I knew about power, faith, and the world I had grown up in. "Why me?" I asked, still struggling to comprehend the gravity of the situation. "Why now?" The Pope gave a small, sad smile.
"Because you, Baron, are one of the few who will understand the implications of what I am about to reveal. The world is changing, and the Church, for all its supposed righteousness, has been part of a much darker narrative for centuries. It's a secret that must come to light before it is too late."
I stared at him, waiting for more, but he remained silent, his tired eyes gazing at me intently.
"It's a story that spans centuries,"
he finally said, breaking the silence.
"The Vatican was never just a spiritual center. It was always a place of politics, of control. And it has been this way for longer than anyone realizes."
I leaned in, my curiosity piqued. "What do you mean?" He sighed deeply, as if preparing himself for the weight of the next words.
"The Vatican, from its very inception, has always been entangled in power struggles. It wasn't just about faith, it was about controlling the narrative, manipulating the world's greatest powers, and ensuring that those in charge would remain untouchable. What people don't understand is that the Vatican's influence extended far beyond religion.
It shaped history, guided governments, and controlled the destinies of nations." My mind was racing. I had always known that the Vatican was an institution of immense power, but I had never fully understood just how deeply that power extended. "Are you saying that the Church has been involved in politics, secretly influencing world events?" The Pope nodded gravely.
"Yes, the Church has had its hand in shaping history from the shadows. It has made deals with kings, emperors, and governments to maintain its hold on power. But that isn't the worst of it. The worst part is what has been hidden, the secret pacts that were made in the darkest corners of the Vatican."
I felt my breath catch. The Pope, the leader of the Catholic Church, was talking about secret pacts and conspiracies. It was like something out of a thriller novel, and yet, the gravity of his words hit me like a sledgehammer.
"There is an ancient order,"
he continued,
"one that was formed in the early days of the Church. It was never meant to be known to the public, but it has influenced every major decision made by the Vatican for centuries. This order has been responsible for shaping the destinies of popes, kings, and even nations. It has operated in secrecy, pulling strings from behind the scenes."
I leaned back, trying to process everything he was saying. What is this order? And why is it so important now? The Pope's eyes darkened, and his voice dropped to a whisper.
"This order is known as the Order of the Cross. It is an ancient group of powerful individuals, priests, scholars, and political leaders, who have sworn to uphold the secrets of the Vatican. They believe that the Church must maintain control at all costs. They do not care for the well-being of the people. They care only for the Church's survival.
He paused, his eyes distant.
The Order's true purpose is to manipulate global events to ensure that the Vatican remains a central force in world politics. They have orchestrated wars, political upheavals, and revolutions, all to keep the Vatican in power.
My heart raced as the implications of his words began to sink in. Wars, revolutions, these were not just historical events. They were all part of a larger plan, a plan designed to keep the Church at the top of the global hierarchy. And now, the Pope was telling me that this secret order had orchestrated it all. But why tell me this? I asked, my voice shaky. Why reveal all of this now? The Pope looked at me, a sad smile playing at the corners of his lips.
Because, Baron, the time has come for the world to know. The Church has been in the hands of the Order for far too long, and it has caused untold damage. The next Pope will have to face the truth of what has been hidden for centuries. And you are the one who must carry that truth.
I stared at him in disbelief. You want me to expose it? To reveal the secrets of the Vatican to the world? He nodded solemnly.
The world is on the brink of a new age. We cannot continue to live in the shadows, pretending that the Church is a beacon of hope and righteousness. The truth must come to light, no matter the cost.
I stood up, my mind spinning. The enormity of what he was asking me to do was overwhelming. I had no idea what the future held, but I knew one thing for certain. This was a moment in history that would change everything. The Pope's final words echoed in my mind as I left the room.
You are the heir to this knowledge now, Baron. What you choose to do with it will shape the future of the world.
As I walked out into the cold, moonlit night, I knew that the world I had once known would never be the same again. The Vatican's secrets were now in my hands, and the truth was waiting to be revealed.